Hello and welcome back as we continue to explore the many features of S3. In this lesson, we are going to focus on S3 events. So let's open that over here on the Orion papers, and let's talk a little bit about what S3 events are. So S3 event notifications allow you to set up automated communication between S3 and other AWS services when a selected event occurs in an S3 bucket. So let's actually take a look at that over here in the console. So here we have our Orion papers bucket. So I'm going to select that and then go to Properties, and then down here under Advanced Settings to Events. So the first thing I'm going to want to do to create an event is to click on Add Notification, and then we're going to see that I have several options here. So the first thing that I want to do is name my event. So I'll call this SNS S3 event. Now you're going to see here that there are some common event notification triggers that include things like RRS object lost, and this can be used for automating the recreation of lost RRS objects. So if you remember during the storage classes lesson, we talked about using RRS for something like thumbnails, which are generated from the main photos, which are in the standard storage class. Well, this is a way for you to be notified if you lose an object that is stored in reduced redundancy storage class. And then what you can do is you can take that notification and have it sent to another part of your application through an SNS topic or an SNS queue or directly to Lambda, and then have your application reproduce the lost thumbnail. So as you will see, S3 events are a great way to help with some automation within your application for events that may occur in S3. So there are some other notable events that you want to be aware of, which include put, post, copy, and also complete multi-part upload. So what complete multi-part upload is if you choose to upload a file via multi-part upload, this can give you an alert when that has completed. And we'll go over multi-part upload when we get to the transit section of this course. So to finish building our SNS event here, we can choose a specific prefix. This would be where we would specify a folder name. We can also specify a suffix, which would be specifying a file type, like the example here of a JPEG. And we then need to decide where do we want to send the notification to. So we can send that to an SNS topic, an SNS queue, or directly to a Lambda function. And then based off of that, you can have an SNS topic, the SNS queue, or Lambda function trigger some other part of your application. So for this, I actually created an SNS topic, and my SNS topic is called S3 Events, and you see it just pops right up here. I can select it and then click Save. Oh, first I need to actually select an event. That would be something important to do. So let's say that I want to be notified via an SNS topic whenever the RSS object is lost. So I can select that, click Save. Now, with this event made, I will receive an email every time that an RRS object would be lost in this particular bucket. So again, S3 events are just a great method that we can use to help automate communication between S3 and other AWS services to help automate some of the processes in our application. And with that, we will conclude this lesson. Thank you for watching. You may now move on.